You're listening to If These Woods Could Talk, a production of the Rhinelander District Library and part of the WXPR Community Podcast Project, an initiative to amplify community voices. More info can be found at wxpr.org. And now follow If These Woods Could Talk on Facebook and Instagram for new episodes, other history blurbs, and civil discussion. Today's recording comes to us courtesy of Oneida County 4-H'er Claire Abley. Claire tells us, "This is my great-grandmother, Betty Preu, who lived from 1924 until 2018. She and my great-grandfather, Henry Preu, moved to a house on Enterprise Lake near Elko in 1980. Henry volunteered at WXPR as a DJ for a classical music segment every Wednesday for several years in the 1980s to early 90s. He died from cancer in 1993. WXPR gave Betty this framed photo and playlist after he passed. Betty also talks about her love of nature and her enjoyment of Sedvig's nature column in the newspaper that she'd read every week. This interview was recorded in December of 2017 when Betty was 93 years old. My cousin Scott is speaking to her on this part of the recording. I have his permission to submit this too. Thanks to Claire and Scott for conducting the interview, Emily for sending it in, and thank you to Betty for sharing your memories. Enjoy a few recollections from Betty Preu.
What were some of your favorite memories from the lake?
I really learned about nature. There was this newspaper came out of Rhinelander, written by Sedvig. He was a school superintendent and a very nature-minded man. And every Sunday in their Rhinelander newspaper was a column on what was going on in nature. The birds that were there, the fish, all those things that I never knew about living in the city. I had no idea. And it was like an education for me. And I made a scrapbook out of it, put all these newspaper items in there. And really, that was very, very nice. And I really got to know about loons and otters and porcupines. Had no idea before what these were, you know? Yeah. We had an ermine that came up on our deck. Pure white.
Wow.
Yeah. And we had the hummingbirds there, and the chipmunks, and Dad made a thing from the tree because the squirrels were always taking the bird seed. And so made this pulley of this thing way up in the tree where we could lower and raise it so we could fill the feeder that the squirrels. But it was so much fun to watch them. Squirrels would come and try and jump down on it and always would fall down on but would keep coming up and coming up.
I remember there was like a piece of plastic across the top to guard it too, right?
It was like a wood.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Right. They'd slide right off of that.
Yeah.
Know? But persistent. They just kept on doing it. And I was a long way down to fall, you know?
Right.
Yeah. But we had some pictures. The chipmunks, birds. Oh, let's see. Chickadees, black and white little birds, chickadees. He would put the seed in his hand and they'd come and sit there and eat right out of his hand. Yeah. See, all those things you don't get in the city. You know?
Right, right.
Yeah. Oh, it was nice. And during the week, we would go out fishing way over on that other end there, and you'd see blue heron, you know, and the beavers built up a dam over there. And during the week, there hardly anybody on the lake at all. And so that was a nice time. We often went out in the morning, and I loved those little perch. And we got enough of them, and we'd come back and he'd clean them, we'd have them for lunch. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, then he worked up at the radio station. Grandpa liked classical music, and they had this program. It was a public radio station funded by volunteers and money given by people. Well, anyway, that picture on the wall there shows him. He went on the air, and he had a program where he announced he would go one day a week. I think his day was Wednesday, and he was on the air for several hours playing classical music. And that started right after we moved there, after coming from Michigan, which was nice, very nice, because he was kind of a workaholic before. And I wondered how he would adjust, you know, to retirement.
Right.
But he got so involved there. And then he did some building. They needed some bookcases and other things, and he made different things for them. We had that nice little area in the basement, you know.
Right.
Yeah, he made a lot of things there.
Was that a hobby he picked up at the lake, or did he do some of that earlier on too?
Then pretty much at the lake. I think he knew a little bit before, but yeah.
Thanks for listening to If These Woods Could Talk, a production of Rhinelander District Library and part of the WXPR Community Podcast Project, an initiative to amplify community voices. For more community podcasts or for podcasts produced by WXPR, go to WXPR.org and look for a Podcasts tab. Or just search for WXPR Public Radio anywhere you get podcasts. Also a special thanks to the Old Pine Road Band for the musical theme. To learn how you can record your own story of the Northwoods, or to suggest a topic or storyteller, contact the library or check out the website at rhinelanderlibrary.org.